Well, a very good evening and thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Before I even start the video, I do apologise. I am holding my phone and looking at the laptop, so if it is a little bit shaky, I do apologise about that. I will need to try and invest in a small tripod or something like that. But at the moment, my technology is a little bit restricted, a little bit limited. So I just want to first and foremost say if it is wobbly, if it's poor quality, I do apologise about that. Want to talk about the sudden stratospheric warming and the disappointment in some respects with regards to the response of the sudden stratospheric warming. And this is something that we do all need to remember when you do get a sudden stratospheric warming. Not all are the same, not all respond the same. You don't always get the clean coupling between the upper stratosphere and the lower stratosphere and bleeding into the troposphere. And we haven't, in a sense, seen that clean connection from stratosphere into troposphere, and therefore essentially has not fully resulted in the shutdown of the westerly winds. If you notice here, we continue to see a fairly pronounced Atlantic influence here. Yeah, we do have some cold entrained within the pattern here because we've got the negative Arctic oscillation, we've got the block, and this is of course the 100 HPA temperatures here, so this is the lowest part of the stratosphere. And the reason why I look at this is because essentially this is quite often at this level what mirrors underneath at 500 millibars. And of course, when you've got the positives here, the reds, that is in a sense where we've had the blocking, and it's been over the western side of the Arctic, over parts of eastern, northeastern parts of Asia, well, Siberia, and into North America. But it's been very, very warm. We've had a strong positive centered over Hudson Bay in the last few weeks, and in a sense we've not had the cold over North America. Yeah, we've had a temporary spell of very cold air in the Eastern Europe, but in a sense what we've got is we don't have this orange extending down over Greenland, but also, more importantly, down into the North Atlantic to shut down the westerly flow and reverse it. We've just not seen the reversal from westerly to easterly winds. So therefore the UK in a sense has been a bit of a battleground between milder air coming in off the Atlantic and colder air pushing east. And in a sense, the UK, generally speaking, although it's been a chilly winter and it's been an unsettled winter, unfortunately, the mild has just been a pest this year in terms of getting proper snow and proper cold. Now, if I want to split hairs, if I want to wish cast, you could look at the 100 HPA temperatures in 5 days from now, and you can see where there's a little bit more extension of that orange here, indicating that we would get more blocking over Greenland here and extending perhaps into the North Atlantic. But generally speaking, in the next 5 days, folks, this is off the GFS ensemble, and you can see here that the positive, is centered over the Baffin Sea here, between Baffin Island and the west coast of Greenland. You've got the negative over the UK, but the problem is you've had quite a strong jet stream here, a kind of undercutting jet riding underneath. What you would want to see is, in a sense, more of a push of cold air from more of the kind of northeast to east direction. We've just had a kind of polar maritime version of cold, which in a sense has just not been simply cold enough to bring full snow to the British Isles. We've had spells where we've had snow down to low levels, but it's been hit and miss. Yeah, we've had reasonable amounts of snow across higher elevations, and particularly across the north of the UK. I know there's folks that live in the southern part of Britain, in particular southeast and East Anglia who have seen very little in the way of snow, and it has been a frustrating winter. I totally get that. But until we can get that block extending further south over the North Atlantic, shutting down the Atlantic and reversing that flow in from more of a kind of northeasterly direction. The problem that you've got is any easterly flow that we've got, it's pulling in milder than normal air off the continent here. We had, of course, a strong easterly flow. I think it was either at the very beginning of January or the end of December. I think it might have been the early part of January. But the problem is we didn't have particularly cold air over the continent. Of course, but back in February of 2018, we had a bitterly cold continent. And of course, we had that wind blowing straight into the British Isles here, bringing the beast from the east. We've seen that in March 2013. We've seen that in December 2010. This sudden stratospheric warming, in a sense, has been a disappointment. It's been a bit of a waste of a sudden stratospheric warming, if you will. And yeah, we're going to see some snow during the middle and latter half of the week. My forecast has generally not changed too much in terms of the snowfall, but the modelling is pulling the air in from the north, not the east, and the continent is warming up significantly over the next few days here. So that is a disappointment. I'm not going to kid myself on, and I'm not going to kid you as a viewer on, that it hasn't responded in the way that I forecasted it to. And that is, of course, disappointing for myself, but also, of course, for yourself as well. I try not to hype things. I do try to be realistic. I do try to be honest with what I'm seeing. But folks, the one thing I will say is this, that it's not been entirely the worst winter. Last year was a dead loss. We've had some winter this year. It probably will wind up being a colder than normal January. And I'm hopeful that we get something in the month of February here in terms of winter weather. But certainly, to me, it's just been a bit of a waste of sudden stratospheric warming, because we've literally not seen the response as such. So just a few thoughts tonight. Hope you have a good evening. Hope you're staying safe. If you live in the parts of the North Midlands and into the Southern Pennines, I hope you're safe. If you live around the Hebden Bridge area and other areas around that area that are going to see perhaps upwards of 150 millimetres of rain over the next few days, be aware of the flood situation, and I hope you're staying safe and taking the proper precautions. Hopefully we can get some sort of winter weather during the second half of this week to speak about. That's it for today. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.